What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Denali, aka Don Squally, back at y'all with another Forza Horizon 3 build video, man. The channel where we are taking your requests and nothing but your requests for the greatest builds from Forza currently. Waiting on that Forza Motorsport 7 and or Gran Turismo Sport. Whichever one comes out first, we are going to be copping next. But for today's video, man, we have a request from one of our viewers. As you guys probably already guessed it, today's request comes from Gilbert San Miguel, and he wants to see a sleeper MG Metro 6R4, man. Now, I think this is a dope idea. One of the reasons that I decided to pick this car is because, one, I haven't done an MG on the channel yet. I don't even think I've even bought one on Forza, to be 100% honest. And two, this is one of those out of the ordinary builds that I was talking about. You guys might have heard me mention a few times last week that I just want to get kind of some of the oddball builds out of the way, and this is actually a perfect example of one of those cars. Now, we are going to buy this up with the manufacturer white. Probably going to go ahead and change this paint a little later on in the build, but for the time being, let's go ahead and buy this one up, man. So if you guys are new to the channel, definitely don't forget to smash that subscribe button. All you MG fans out there that are here specifically for this build, press that subscribe button too, man, because, you know, we do all kinds of different builds here on the channel, and if you like this one, chances are you might like a few other ones. So either way, man, just smash that subscribe button. So right off of the bat, we are going to just check out some of our engine options. Now, I'm not 100% sure what comes in this car, but we're just going to look. Looks like a 3-liter, a whole lot of horsepower here, 306 kilowatts. From what I can tell here, this is probably going to be a naturally aspirated motor. Now, just because this engine is so out of the ordinary, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave the engine stock on this one. Drivetrain, since this is going to be a sleeper, we're going to go with the all-wheel drive drivetrain. Now, as far as the aspirations go, we are definitely going to have to throw probably a twin turbo on this thing, man, just to make it scream a little bit louder than usual. Obviously, next up, we're gonna need some tires. Now, I'm thinking I want to go with a race tire compound, but I don't want the Horizon letters on here. This is going to be a pure sleeper, and with the letters on there, I just think that's kind of a giveaway that this thing might be a race car. Obviously, we're going to have to widen up the tires, both front and back. Rim style, we're going to go ahead and just skim through a couple of our options here, and I'm not really sure what's going to work for this car and what isn't, so I'm just going to look through a few different wheel options here right now. And I think for this specific build, I'm gonna put kind of a wide wheel on here. Now, typically, big fan of the Bonnevilles, but for this one, I think I'm gonna go with the ATS Classics. Now, as you can see, has kind of a tiny diameter on the inside, but has a really nice deep dish once you get to the side of it. So I think for that wide profile that this car already has, this wheel is gonna be perfect. Now, I think upgrading to a 17, even though not necessary for this car, I think we're going to go ahead and do that. Give it a little bit of a kind of a concept car vibe, since they usually put oversized wheels on concept cars before they hit production. You know, basically to sell the consumer, and then when you actually get the car, it's like, oh, hold up, you get these tiny little bogus steelies with hubcaps on them. It's just the name of the game, you know what I mean? If I'm selling a sandwich and you're walking past me on the street, I'm gonna offer you my best sandwich first. You know what I mean? That's the way sales goes. So it's no surprise that that's the way the car game is as well. So as far as the engine goes, since this is gonna be a sleeper, I think we're gonna completely max out this car. Now, even though there's not too many options as far as modifying this engine goes, as you can see, we're still getting a lot of power out of this thing. Let's just go ahead and get 690. That's damn near 800 horsepower there. Now, a lot of people have asked me to change this to horsepower. I really wish I would, but I'm Canadian, so when I get driving And to see the speeder, to see the speedometer and have it in miles per hour, for me doesn't make very much sense. But I think this build is pretty much as good as it's going to get as far as the engine and drivetrain goes. Now, obviously, next up, what we have to do is jump into the tuning. Now, our gearing, as you can see, geared pretty heavily towards acceleration. I think in order to get the best performance out of this car on the street and highway, we're actually making our acceleration better by adjusting the top speed here. I just think it's necessary in order to make this car competitive with other cars out there. Now, as you can see, our acceleration just took a tiny hit, but our top speed right around 300 kilometers an hour. Now, this is where being Canadian comes into play, so that I can kind of relate this like, okay, 300, that's a pretty good top speed. I think we can leave it there. Now, as far as the camber and toe and all that good stuff, we're going to leave that pretty much square. Since this is going to be a sleeper build, I don't want to like slam and stand. Well, I am going to slam it, just not stance it. As far as the differential goes, let's go ahead and put a majority of this power to the rear wheels. About 80%, I think, is going to make this thing handle just perfectly. As you can see, those wheels drop down quite a bit. Oh, man. I can just see it in the background there, all stanced out. This thing's already looking sick. Now, as far as the paint goes, I'm not really feeling this white. So we're going to go ahead and probably find something a little bit different. Now, you can see they have a nice stainless steel diffuser on the front there, which is very dope. As far as the colors go for this thing, I wouldn't mind seeing like a nice yellow or a nice orange. Lime green's a little, I don't know, that's a little excessive. So what I think I'm going to do on this one is go with maybe a dark blue. Since we are going with kind of a sleeper theme, I don't really want to get too carried away with the color of the paint. So I'm even thinking this nice dark navy blue would be absolutely perfect. As you can see, not too aggressive, just a little hint of blue in there, but obviously nothing too crazy since we are trying to keep this sleeperish. Now let's just check out what this would look like with a carbon fiber hood. Obviously, that's a dead giveaway that something's going on here. I mean, if this front wing here isn't a dead giveaway, now most people say, "Oh, Don Squally, that's a diffuser." No, that's a wing right there on the front of the car. I know, it's kind of crazy. As far as the wheels go, I don't know what it is, man. Ever since I found these nice polished wheels here, it seems to be a favorite of mine. On here, though, I think we might go with the steel polish, something nice and dark, but still has a nice shine to it when you get it in the right light. As far as the windows are concerned, what better way to have the windows than tinted up? I mean, I don't know. It's, you know, what else are we gonna do? Leave them see-through? That's pretty lame. So now that the paint is all taken care of, I don't really want to put any decals. Like I say, this is going to kind of be a sleeper, but we're ready to take this thing for a rip. So let's see what she's all about here. Obviously, we got to give a nice little 360. Sounds very docile, very quiet. Hear that big turbo, man. I should say those big turbos. Whole lot of blow-off valve noise coming from that. Whoa. Oh my. What? Wow. This car is absolutely nuts right now. Let me just take this in for a second. Let me see if it corners. Because if this thing, see, we're having a little bit of grip issues there. Some serious understeer. But wow, this thing pulls, man. Okay, so obviously, oh, here we go. I just took this controller off of the charger, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what I gotta do. Maybe we're just gonna pretend like it's fully charged and just ignore that message. All right, so as far as the turning is concerned, not much going on. But look at this launch. 9,500 RPM, might add. Ooh. Now, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this. Oof. I know it's a 3-liter engine in here, so I don't think we got a motorbike engine in here. Even though it really, really sounds like it. I was watching the speedo instead of the traffic. Short shifting makes it sound beast as well. Down into first. Like, I want to say there's some sort of a sport bike engine in this thing, only because of how high it's revving. This thing sounds amazing, man. Like, if it had a little bit more handling, this would be right up there with Lambo territory for sure. Now, this thing, obviously, a rally car nature, just loves to redline, man. This is a lot of fun. Like, just banking it off that red line. Keep your eyes on the road, squaw. Oh man, this is wicked. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a perfect example of why I wanted to kind of steer clear from the, you know, the famous YouTuber builds. Not that I don't enjoy those builds, but these types of cars would definitely be overlooked had I only, you know, stuck to doing the famous build. All right, we're starting to get the hang of this now. Oh man, couldn't do it quick enough. But it, like, getting in that little fender bender didn't even slow this thing down. Look at how fast this thing's going, man. No matter what gear you're in, it's just constant pulling. I would advise everybody to go buy this car right now. Even though I'm not a big fan of that big wing on the back, or the big wing on the front for that matter. Man, keep your eyes on the road, dog. It's quite evident that you know, those two things there, the wing on the front and back, 100% functional. Let's see if we can drift a little. Not without taking, oh. This is just ruckus right now, man. Taking out every pull. It's like not even drifting, it's just power sliding, man. Woo. Yeah. Okay. What year are we rocking with here? 1986. I remember in a video that I put out last week, I believe, in the Camaro build that could have possibly been, where I said back in the 80s that there was not a company that was putting out cars that were performing as good as American muscle cars. I stand corrected, ladies and gentlemen. Here you have it right here. This thing is an absolute monster. Not necessarily a sleeper, but my goodness, what a car. I think this is probably where we're going to put an end to this one. You know, we raced it. We definitely crashed it. We talked that smack, man. You know the nature of the game. So with that being said, you guys let me know what you thought of this one down in the comments section. Let's see some more of these little off-the-wall random builds, man. I'm kind of excited with this one. I kind of want to keep the trend going. So with that being said, I am your boy D Nolly, a.k.a. Don Squally. I just want to say thank y'all for watching, and we're going to catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace. Don't die. Oh shit, where you going, bro? Don't be creeping on my friend. Don't be creeping on my friend. You and your homie. Oh, nut shot. Nut shot. Oh, buddy. Let's go. And your boy, man. Get him out of here. Oh, you fucking Ah!